Good afternoon. We start here in your business this afternoon. ArcelorMittal South Africa continues to be hit by weak demand and increased imports from China. The steelmaker swung to a full-year headline loss per share of R1.70 from a headline earnings of R2.34 the last time around. The group is also deferring the shutdown of its long steel business by up to 6 months. This as the steelmaker explores various initiatives with the government, state-owned entities and workers. The company says there was constructive progress in those engagements. This could salvage the business and save 3,500 jobs at risk from the closure of the foundries in Newcastle and Verster. The company has also been grappling with a 20% fall in demand over the last 7 years caused by low growth, strained infrastructure spend and various project delays. I'm joined now by Kobus Verster, the ArcelorMittal CEO. Kobus, thank you for your time this afternoon. I want us to get into the state of the economy as well as the state of the nation, but starting off with how much of an impact these continued steel imports from China are impacting on these current financial results.
Good afternoon. I think China's exports last year was at record levels, so it obviously impacted global steel prices because China exports a lot of excess steel not only to Africa and South Africa, but also to Brazil and Europe and all those markets. So obviously it impacts on the price, but from a volume perspective in South Africa, yes, it does play a role. Almost around 50% of the imports into the country is from China.
Something else that's in the news, Kobus, is the decision that is awaited on the ban on the export of scrap metal. That has not been made yet by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Ibrahim Patel. Why do you believe, as the industry, that the ban should be lifted? Because it seems that it's having some detrimental effect on the operations or on the sector itself.
Yeah, the ban has not been extended. It actually lapsed in the mid of December, so the minister have not extended that. There's three things impacting on the scrap. One is the preferential pricing mechanism. Secondly, there's a 20% tax on exports, and then thirdly, the ban that has basically expired. What it does, it creates an artificial benefit to the electric arc furnace steel producers, and obviously basically taking money away from the scrap collectors and the scrap dealers into a different business pocket. And in our case, it puts the relative competitiveness of the integrated facility like Newcastle at an unnecessary disadvantage.
You've made a huge announcement today after that earlier shock announcement that you'd be closing the long steel businesses. The decision on the postponement today of those closures, what are the promises or undertakings that have been made by the government or the SOEs to help you as ArcelorMittal keep the doors open and save those 3,500 jobs?
Well, I think firstly, I need to re-emphasize that ArcelorMittal said at the time that we do not need special treatment or subsidies. What we require is a fair, competitive playing field. And since the announcement, the non-extension of the scrap ban, that's already our first step in normalizing the scrap policy in South Africa. Obviously, we will advocate further for the removal of the tax, but at least there's a step in the right direction, and scrap prices already increased by around R1,000 in January. Secondly, around Transnet. Transnet, once again, despite the fact that we know we are overcharged from a tariffs perspective, we're also alive to the problems within Transnet. So we are in the process of agreeing specific efficiency improvements, which will allow us to move more of our volumes from road to rail, with the associated benefits from a cost perspective to us, but also from a revenue perspective for Transnet. So in achieving that, it's not, we are getting closer, or we're closing the cost gap that exists by a very expensive Transnet, and there's still a long way to go, but at least it's a step in the right direction. These commitments has been done in a very positive spirit, and we believe we can contractually commit to them in due course. It's not promises, and that will give us hopefully the appropriate time or space to work on a sustainable solution for our long products, and we're starting to think what that end game will be.
Your decision to let go or to close those long steel businesses was clearly not an easy one. But this is not about ArcelorMittal anymore. It's about the sector itself, the steel-making sector.
No, 100%. I think after the announcement, everybody saw the reaction from the downstream industry, the automotive industry, the impact this will have on their localization, the impact it will have on their businesses. So where we talk about the 3,500 direct employees, sort of independent studies indicated that the real impact is north of 80,000 people. So it's substantial, it's big, and I think that's why everybody is trying to find a solution, and we will continue to work with them in a proactive way as far as possible. But I think one is also need to understand that this is not without risk, and we will not and cannot place the bigger ArcelorMittal at risk for the longs business. So we have to find a financial sustainable solution.
Kobus, President Cyril Ramaphosa in a couple of hours will be delivering the State of the Nation address. Let's talk about the issues that keep you awake at night and what you think President Ramaphosa should be talking about tonight as something that could actually boost business and investor confidence.
Well, I think the request must probably from everybody is we need to ignite economic growth. And that can be done by infrastructure spent, but we need that urgently to start some level of job creation. I mean, the amount of unemployment in the country is just too much. And then secondly, we have to deal with corruption. I don't believe the initiatives done to date is, in any event, from a transparent perspective, I don't see a lot. So I think we need more decisiveness in that, and government need to start moving a bigger portion of the government budget to infrastructure and capital investment rather than spend on salaries.
Are you holding your breath tonight that you might hear something that could be leading towards those solutions?
Let's try and be positive.
I see. Kobus Verster is the CEO at ArcelorMittal South Africa. Thank you so much for your time.